Hello. A controversial topic in the world today is gay marriage and if it should be a law or it should not be a law. I believe it should not be a law, and here's why. Biblically speaking, it is wrong. And if you want to live and be a true Christian and live your life for Christ, it is wrong. It affects little kids' lives too. If those little kids do not have two different parents, two different gendered parents, they don't fully understand what a true family is. And the third reason I believe it is wrong is it's just morally wrong, and everyone's trying to make it a civil right, which altogether is wrong. So first, it is against God's word, obviously. And in Genesis 1, verses 28 and 29, it talks about how you're supposed to go and be fruitful for Christ, but being gay is not being fruitful because you are not living how God has asked you to live. You aren't being fruitful. So if you aren't going to be fruitful, you probably aren't a true Christian like you say you are. The next verse that I read was Mark 10, 6 through 8, and it talks about how you're supposed to leave your family to find a wife and start a new family. And that's for men. Men weren't called to go find another man and make a new family because you can't reproduce man and man, woman and woman. You were told to go find a spouse and start a family and repopulate the earth and live for Christ. And you can't do that when you're gay because you cannot repopulate. Another verse I read was Revelations 21:8, and it talks about how the sexually immoral and many others should burn in the fiery lakes of hell. And not that it's to that extreme necessarily. If you live your full life to that, then yes, it is going to be that extreme. But if you can separate yourself from that badness, it will not go to that extreme. And it talks about sexually immoral, which is considered like sex before marriage is sexually immoral. And having a gay marriage would also be considered sexually immoral. The next thing why I believe it's wrong is because it affects little kids' lives. And little kids are just as important as any adult or teenager. If a little kid does not have one woman and one male in the household together, they never fully understand each gender and fully understand what it's like to have a true family, what it's like to, if they decide they don't want to be gay, they want to be straight, they don't understand necessarily how to treat that other person because they're just different. Their body is different, their attitudes are different, just everything about it is different. So it really just affects that kid's life. And if you want a good biblical marriage, you need to have man and woman. So that also kind of affects their lives. And the third reason is it's a moral wrong that's trying to be turned into a civil right. Morally, it is wrong. It's not natural. It's not natural for a man and a man to lie together or a woman and a woman to lie together because for it to be natural, you would have to be able to reproduce. And you can't reproduce man and man, woman and woman. So, therefore, it's not correct. It's morally wrong. And everyone's trying to make it into a civil right. Most people, anyway. So, since they're trying to make it into a civil right, it just changes everything and makes it all wrong. And it makes it even more morally wrong than what it is. I have a few slides here. It's against the Bible, and it talks about how only man and woman truly equals marriage. And it talks about how marriage created by God is man and woman, not man and man, woman and woman. It denies a parent. Yes, they could have two parents and live a great life that are the same gender, but it's better to have one and one. And it's morally wrong, obviously. But my 3 sources I've used are the Bible, and then I use 2 websites also. And it's just not right for you to be in a marriage with the same sex because it's not natural. It's not what you were called to do as you were born. And maybe you aren't a Christian, but still it isn't natural. And you should want everything to be natural and smooth sailing. So I'm not sitting here saying I hate gays, they are wrong. Because I have plenty of some of my best friends are gay, my cousin is gay, And I understand how you want to support them fully in everything that they do because they should have love too. And that is true. They should find love. But they should find love in the correct ways, not in the bad ways. And I'm not hating them. I love them to death. Like I said, one of my favorite cousins is gay. My best friends, some of them are gay. And I want them to be happy, and I want them to feel loved. And I really just want them to have a great life that they feel important in. But they really can't be truly happy because in the end, they won't go where you're supposed to go. They aren't going to go to heaven like they're supposed to. So, in the end, they need to make that decision to be straight. Thank you for watching. How long is it?